Hi, I'm Keith Overholt, President and CEO of the Downtown Rescue Mission, and we're coming to you this week with another Mission Moments Live. And this week we have my friend Veronica that's with us, and we have a really neat testimony that she has and what God has done in her life, and we're really excited. Veronica, just tell us a little bit about who you are.
I am delivered. I am free from the bondage of addiction, and I am a child of God.
So, let's go back a little bit. How did you first get to the mission? What made you have to come to the mission?
Whenever I first came to the mission, I had lost all hope. I was in a very dark place. Like nobody would help me. Nobody would even open their door for me anymore because I had to do something different. I had struggled with addiction since I was 12 years old. I grew up in a very dysfunctional, addictive home. But to me, I thought the chaos was normal. And I had to do something different. I just wanted a better life. I knew there had to be more to life than the way I was living.
So 12 years old it started, maybe a little bit of addiction.
Yes.
How did that start? Was it alcohol or was it
It was alcohol and marijuana, smoking weed. Yeah. And then it just escalated and got worse and worse. And
so people say sometimes smoking marijuana is okay, but it took you down a path of maybe you're doing other things as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you go through your high school years and it's a little rough and,
yeah.
But how did you end up here? What was the last thing that I got to go get it straight?
It was, my niece got murdered in 2020 in that mass shooting. And it was around the year anniversary whenever that happened. I was having a lot of flashbacks. All that fear and panic was coming up again, all them old memories. And I just ended up, and they had, I think, their first trial for the people that murdered her. And it just set me over the edge. And I was like, how can somebody do something so horrific? And it just, I didn't care anymore. And I had a lot of guilt from that. I blamed myself. I felt like I should have been able to save her. But God intervened, and she called me to come out there for her birthday party. And on June the 2nd, she got murdered June the 4th, and I was out of gas, and I couldn't make it to her. Wow. So, God had his hands all in that. But I had to see that he saved me from that. Yeah. That he intervened. He got me out of that. And I just really had to forgive myself. But it took me giving it to God, going through the program, praying about it, and ending up and having to forgive the ones that did that to her.
Sure. Tough. That's a tough thing to forgive, too. I know.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah. It took some time, but...
So, how did you find out about Downtown Rescue Mission?
My cousin Chad actually did the program, and he graduated the program, so...
He's doing good, too, right?
Yeah, he's doing good.
He's weightlifting in the gym, I saw the other day.
Well, I actually lost a bet, see, because he's like, cuz, I want you to train with me for the race. And I'm like, okay. And I'm pumped, and I'm coming to the mission. I think I'm going to, train with him. But see, back in June, right after Emily had got murdered, I was trying to pretend like I was sober, but I had just replaced one substance with another, and, in my addict mind and justifying, I was like, oh, I'm clean. But I told him, I was like, if I ever relapse again, I'll make you a deal. He said, what's that? I said, I'll go do a year on the women's side. He said, okay.
That's awesome.
Well, you best believe. Yes. He has made me own up to that bet, and I did, and... at first I struggled.
But God was even in that, right?
Yeah, he was.
Then you went through the program, right?
Yeah, that's the best decision I ever made.
Tell us a little bit about the program and how that affected your life.
At first, I was mad at God, because of everything that had happened. I questioned God. But like I said, I was at that bottom. I had to have something different. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, living in that addiction, and I surrendered it to God, and that's the best decision I ever made. The first classes we started going through was falling in love with Jesus. And, to get that concept, if you grow up in a family and say your dad's in and out and you don't have that love from a father, it's hard to accept that love. How can God love me so much? How can God love me and let this horrible, horrific thing happen? And I really just had to just start reading the Word and I had to fall in love with God and see how many times he was there with me. Even whenever I thought he was not, he was right there and had his hands all over me. And, then it's experiencing God, and it's just amazing. And then working with the ladies, I worked at the back desk, and, just having those minister moments with those ladies and doing their intakes and, seeing myself in those women. Whenever I had came in, how broken and just how damaged I was, and for me to be able to be that light, it was only God that placed me there, and it's still working in my life.
Well, what's awesome is that the things that you used to do to fill that void in your heart,
Yes.
now are filled by Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Right? What an awesome thing, right? Because
Yeah.
Jesus Christ fills that hole forever. Now we're at the store right now. We're at the
Yes.
Madison Thrift Store, and tell me what you do here.
I am currently a full-time shift lead. I do a lot of things. Some days I feel like I'm pulled in 500 different directions, but it's just a lot of things we have to do here. Our main focus is the production. As you can see, the racks, like putting out the clothes. I am like one of the main cashiers also, so I fill in at the register. We put out production out here, but in the back, we got the taggers. It's just a non-stop process. We have accessories, purses. That's what I'm working on today, tagging and pricing those to just make sure that we just keep everything going.
So, if you want to come down and see Veronica, come down to the Madison store, because she's here all the time, right? So
Pretty much, I would say this is my first home. I pretty much go home to sleep.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate what you do here at the Mission, at the store, because really you feel like you're giving back at that point
Yes.
too, right?
Yes.
And listen, what a great thing, what a great story of seeing redemption in a life that was going a different direction. Then you came to the Mission, and it's not just about the Mission, it's really about getting Jesus Christ in our life, right? So we appreciate you, and it's so awesome to see. We can't wait to read your story in the newsletter, and really just an awesome thing that you've accomplished here. This has been Veronica, and she is our story for this month that's going to be in our newsletter. Check it out when you get it in the mail.